All right, here's the real deal to understanding what the blues is. Now, if you can understand what the blues is, then you can play a better blues. So what do I mean by that? Well, there is a very specific formula to sounding a blues. If an alien came down to the earth and they said, hey, what is the blues? How would you answer? And your answer depends on how well you know the concept of the blues. So my guess is, and I don't mean to sound offensive, is that we couldn't really answer thoroughly, but now in our impending alien invasion, you'll be able to answer this question. The sound of the blues is the sound of a major chord structure on the bottom being played with a minor scale system on top. Okay, I'll say it again. In music, you have these sandwiches, okay? And the blues is these seventh chords, which are major chords, and a minor scale on top. So if I was in the key of A, I would have A7, D7, and E7 as my cake, or the cake, we'll say cake, sandwich, cake, whatever. And then on top of that, the frosting would be the minor scale. Okay, that's the sound of the blues. For instance, if I play an A7, and I play the minor scale on top of the A7, that is distinctly the blues. All right, so very important. Major chords with minor scales on top. Really, I reverse the way I say it. It's a minor scale on top of major chords. That's better for me. I was trying to explain it. A minor scale on top of major chords is the blues. For instance, if I played an A7 and I played an A major, it's bluesy, and there's a difference, okay? Blues, as you and I know it, is the sound of a minor scale played on top of a major chord progression. So let's take a look at that. A7, an A minor pentatonic. Good. Now, here's the key, really the key to soloing with a good blues. Now, a lot of guitar players keep this a guarded secret, and I don't get it, because we are out there to make sense of it, and it's my duty to share with you. I mean, I know this stuff, so here we go. All right, so let's see the concept, right? You're in a band, right? And you're the guitar player, and you have a keyboard player or another guitar player, and you're going to play an A blues. Okay, so what are they going to play first? They're going to play the A7 chord, and then you're going to play your A minor pentatonic. But listen to the facts. If you're on stage, you're playing an A minor pentatonic, and he's playing, or she is playing an A7. So the sound of every note of every chord is coming through that speakers, right? So where are the fundamental differences? Well, if we take a look at this A7 chord, okay, and that's 5, 7, 5, 6, 7, 7, okay? 5, 7, 5, 6, 7, 7. If you were to look at this chord compared to the minor pentatonic you're playing, this note isn't in your minor pentatonic. And believe it or not, remember what I said, it's the sound of a minor scale on top of a major chord. So this guy right here, I'm not giving you the bird, okay, but this guy right here, the 6th fret of the G string, is the major component of this chord. If I were to play a minor 7th, I'd play this. But I want a 7th. So that's the major component. So in your blues soloing, when you're on top of the A, if we're in the key of the A, if we're in the 1, if you're just playing the minor pentatonic and come back to a root note, which is good, you're missing half the picture, because the audience is hearing this note coming out of the speakers. So as a guitar player, you have to emphasize this note. You have to bind with the music. So listen to what happens when I just throw that one note in. That note. And the reason that note is being played, it's not because of some guitar voodoo. It's not because somebody wrote to the guitar god came down, handed him a note. No, it's because people are discussing and saying, hey, what are you playing that I'm not playing? I was like, well, I'm playing the 7th chord and it has this major third. He's like, oh, let me try putting in my solo. So when the band is on the 1 chord, if we're in the key of A, then your job is, well, not job, but you can do several things. You can litter your solo with that major third. You can add it to your pentatonic, all right? Add it right on top, boom, because it's in the chord. And you can only really play that when they're on the 1 chord, but really cool. This note here, the octave lower is on the 4th fret of the A string, okay? These are both the same notes. So when you have this pentatonic, all right, for the blues, I call this the hybrid pentatonic. Now this is my term, all right? And what it is, it's a minor pentatonic with the major third of the 7th chord. I think I have a piece of food in this beard, like Peter Griffin has a bird. Yep, got it. That was disgusting. You got it. My cat's gonna eat it now. All right, so where was I? I totally forgot where it was. But if you're playing the blues, I'll take it from here. Putting that, oh yeah, the major third can be put into the solo, and it can also be ended on. It can also end your phrase because you can sub it out for the root note. And that, by the way, if you listen to Red House by Hendrix, he has that killer line, and he ends on the major third. I put it in the key of A, but he's in the key of B. But that's where it comes from. People's minds were blown when he did that, but Hendrix, again, smart dude, all right? So here's what it sounds like when you can the way you need to play the one before I get there is you can go to it and end on it. You can hit it and resolve on a 1, and that's pretty much it, but you can only do it on top of that 1 chord right now. So here we go. 1. Now, that's a juicy note. And the reason that note can be played is because it is in the 1 chord. Now, we can do this for the 4 chord, we can do this for the 5 chord, but things get hairy. The biggest concept you have to understand for this video is understanding what makes the sound of things, all right? The blues is the sound of minor scales played on top of major chords. And if you put them into a hydraulic press, you'd see that there's an extra note that's formed when you combine these two systems. And you have to utilize that as a guitar player, especially in the blues. If you do this in the key of B, it's the same thing. There's that major third. Oh yeah, let's go over that pentatonic shape. I'll go back to A for a second. So your pentatonic with that added major third. There it is. Okay, really? So you have 5, 7, 4, 5, 7, 5, 7, 5, 6, 7, 5, 8, 5, 8. And just for giggles, I'll let you know, you can play another one of those major thirds is the 9. Okay, so you have the last one, 5, 8, 9, so your whole scale. That was my cat again, jeez Louise. All right, so boom. So we're not going to discuss the 4 and 5 chord yet because we have to kind of change our mindset. So what you want to do is load up an A blues backing track, and you have to be quite aware of when they're playing the A versus the D7 or the E7. This is only going to work and sound good on top of the A7. So here's your concept. The major third exists in the chords. The 7th chords are quintessential to the sound of the blues. A 7th chord is a major chord with what's called a minor 7th, and that minor 7th helps kind of emulsify that minor scale on top. So it's a major chord. It has a little bit of a twinge to it, like an A1 steak sauce, as I call it. You put your minor scale on top of it, but when you're playing, you absolutely, and I mean absolutely, can play the major third. And my point being is, I Can't Quit You Baby by Led Zeppelin, right? Whoa, I can't quit you, baby. And then he goes, right there. And he's on that major third. He ends on the major third. I remember being so young and being like, wow, what is he doing with that note? That's not the pentatonic. He had to have sold the soul to the devil. And I was convinced. And I was wrong. He actually just knew what he was doing. Go figure.